Hi there, Sandra here from the Schwowin's Nest. Welcome to another episode of Timber Tuesday. The first project I have for you today is using part of this wood bed frame. I cut a whole bunch of bed frames down into different size spindles, and what I'm trying to do here is create a V cut in the center. I used my table saw. Just to get some initial cuts, I'm trying to use this little hacksaw, and I'm going to use some needle nose pliers to try and pick out those pieces of wood. But I ended up going back out to my garage and using this multi-tool with all these accessories. I was able to cut in on an angle, and that one got the job done. Now I'm using these two pieces of scrap wood cut into squares. The bottom one is a 2x6 and the top one is a 2x4. I'm going to glue them together using Weld Bond glue. This glue is so amazing. It is like totally solid when you glue things together. This is my favorite glue to use. I use it instead of using a wood glue and then a crazy glue. This is an all-purpose glue that will put anything together. I'm also adding just a little bit of hot glue so I can continue to work on this piece while the Weld Bond glue dries. This is another piece of spindle from the same bed. I'm going to do the same thing with it, use some Weld Bond glue and some hot glue, and then glue it down right into the center of the blocks. This is a birdhouse that I got on clearance at Michael's. I'm going to glue that on top of the spindle. I need to balance this, so I'm taking a couple of these tumbling tower blocks on either side of the peak. I have the birdhouse sitting upside down, and this will help me get it in the center. I don't trust myself to be able to take the birdhouse and place it in the center on top of the spindle, so I'm going to do it the other way around. This is what the project looks like so far. I've had success gluing the birdhouse right on top of the spindle. Here's a really close-up look at that V that I cut out of the wood. What I need to do is make sure that that can sit on top of the birdhouse. That's why I cut out the V. I'm making a double birdhouse topiary, and I thought this would be a really cute idea to have on my front porch. So the same thing, I'm going to take my Weld Bond glue and hot glue and then just center it as best I can. And I believe I used a little bamboo skewer just to make sure that it was going to be straight. The spindle is dry and I've already prepped it on top with some more Weld Bond glue and hot glue so I can stick on the second birdhouse. Now it's time to paint. I'm going to do the base of the birdhouse in white. I'm also going to do the birdhouse bodies in white. Here you can see that the main body of the birdhouse is painted white. I did the small one as well. Now I'm just going to dry brush some white chalk paint over the brown spindle. I like the brown look, but for this I wanted to do something a little bit different. And I didn't want to sand anything down. I just wanted to give it more of an aged look. I'm going to paint the base of the birdhouse and the roof in Eucalyptus by Martha Stewart Vintage Chalk Paints. I got this on clearance at Michael's just after the holidays, and I really love this color. The other color on the birdhouse above it is going to be Rust-Oleum chalk paint in Serenity Blue, and I'm going to do the base and the roof as well. Of course, I have to also distress the base of this. So I'm using some dark walnut gel stain, and I've just got it in a little bowl here, and I'm using a dry brush method to just put on a little bit, and then I'll add more if I feel it needs it. Then I decided that the gel stain was a little too brown. I'm trying to stay away from browns because I just painted the candlestick, which was brown, a different color. So I'm going ahead with some dark gray chalk paint over the white, and that just helps to make it look even more old and weathered. I also decided to take some of the gray and go over the white a little bit. It was looking a little too stark white on the candlestick, so I'm just going to add a little bit more dimension to that as well. Of course, since everything on this piece is distressed, I also had to distress the rooftops. I'm taking a small little chip brush with a little bit of white chalk paint and just dragging it from top to bottom, giving it a little bit of distressing. I am head over heels for this birdhouse topiary, and I hope you like it too. The next project I have is using these corks. I'm also going to be using some tumbling tower blocks, which are the medium-sized ones, not the small ones that you can get at the Dollar Tree. I'm going to make somewhat of a crate slash log cabin slash box. I don't know. You'll have to tell me what you think it is at the end. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and glue some of the corks together to make a base. And then the next layer will be tumbling tower blocks. I'm putting the hot glue on the side of the tumbling tower blocks so they stand up a little taller and then they end up being about the same height as the corks. I'm going to start with another row of corks, then one more row of the blocks, and then I'm going to finish it off with another row of corks. I'm also using my miter shears to cut the corks. This is like butter. It's so easy to cut little pieces of cork to make sure that all of your pieces fit together well. So if you're interested in those miter shears, I have a link down in my description box. I decided to use this Varathane gel stain in the color Dark Walnut. It's my absolute favorite. And I love gel stain because it's really nice and thick and you can control it. So my idea was to create a watered down gel stain. I added water into this jar, but this is an oil-based stain. And I don't know what I was thinking when I was doing this, but if you're any type of a cook, you know that oil and water do not mix. So I was stirring it, and nothing happened. I finally had to put the lid on it and shake the bejeebies out of it. It did kind of blend together, but I really didn't get what I was looking for. It did dilute the stain a little bit, but not the way it should have been. So, lesson learned, I have to remember that I need oil with oil and water with water. I decided to apply it with a paintbrush. I did have to shake the bottle a couple of times throughout the use, but I really love how the stain turned out. You can still see the lettering through the corks. You can see a little bit of the wood grain on the wood blocks, and I think it was a really good choice to stain it instead of paint it. I've got it sitting on a piece of cardboard and I'm just going to trace out the interior shape because I'm going to make up my own custom little cardboard box. I want to be able to leave the bottom open, so if I want to put this on top of a different plant down the road, I can do that. I wanted it to be fairly versatile. So what I'm doing now is just cutting out the square, and I'm not going all the way through even though I am using my craft knife. I just kind of want to score it so I can bend it easier to hot glue it. Then I'll be cutting out the corners and that will make a really simple box. I'm just going to glue it together with some hot glue. I am totally in love with these Sola wood flowers. I'm going to take a bamboo skewer and I'm going to give each of them a stem. It's really easy just to poke that skewer down into the center of the flower and you've got a perfect stem for it. You can also then cut the bamboo skewer down to whatever size you need. I'm going to be using just an assortment of different florals and I'm going to just make myself a small little arrangement. Here is their website, and you can see that you can filter by category down here, the flower sizes or the flower types. So there's skin flowers and skinless flowers. So this one here is a Stella. It is a skinless flower. But if you scroll back up here to this Bali, this is a skin flower. So that just means that some are white all the way through and some have a little bit of brown on them. You can also get them on sale For example, here's a 10 pack of 3-inch spiral flowers for only $5.20. There's some 2-inch skin dahlias, also a 10 pack of flowers for $4. So you have to just go through the website and take a look at all of the beautiful florals that they have. I have this one as well. It was $5.20 for a 10 pack of flowers. You can't beat that. I would just be buying these on sale all the time, and I really, really love them. And I think you're going to enjoy them as well. So make sure you go down to my description box and click on that link so you can see all of the wonderful assortment of flowers that you can get for your crafting. Okay, so I've created my box and now I need to add some floral foam to it, and check out this cool little cutter that I have. You got it. It's the straight edge from the Dollar Tree. It is a perfect floral foam cutting tool. It doesn't make a mess and it cuts through everything really, really nicely. I've pushed my box through and now I'm just taking my fingers underneath it and giving it a little bit more of a push to elevate it a little bit more. I don't want to have to do so much filler, so being able to just push that box up and down the way I want it is perfect. I'm going to start arranging my Sola wood flowers. I'll start with the two largest flowers. I'm also going to make them the tallest. Then I'm just going to start grouping the flowers a little bit farther down each time, working my way around and creating a nice mound of flowers. I've also got some of these greenery picks from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to cut off those little fern-like branches and add them into the arrangement. I've got one of the little green spiky ones way up at the top, and then I'm just going to keep adding them in until I like the look of it. I don't want too much green, but I just love this soft green color. It works so well with the wood flowers. I just love how this project turned out. The combination of the delicate Sola wood flowers with the rustic cork and wood bottom just looks absolutely gorgeous. I hope you love it as much as I do. I hope you enjoyed my projects today. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. That tells YouTube you like what you see and they promote me more, which in turn helps my channel grow. If you're new to my channel, I'd love for you to stick around by hitting that subscribe button. That black arrow will point you in the right direction. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful Timber Tuesday. Bye for now.